Hey guys, what's up? Just wanted to go over my indicator that I built and how to use it. People have been asking me to make an instructional video, so I'm going to go ahead and show you in different parts of how it works and how the data is compiled and how to use it on your charts. So I have it loaded up pretty much how it comes out of the box. You can tell right now the win rate is pretty bad. The settings need to be adjusted. I will show you my settings, but I will just show you how to use it first and what everything means. So right here out of the box, we have our stop loss, our entry, TP1 and TP2. And then this is our VWAP. These are our signals for every breakout that is valid over VWAP. And then in our dashboard, we have when a trade is open, it will give you a grade. Letter grade will give you the amount it is out of 100, what the recommended contract is, entry, stop loss, and then TP1. This is higher time frame, 6 times, the 20 times it's touched. The RR is 0.7. TP2, higher time frame, support and resistance, 3 times it's been hit. Then it tells you if you should skip or take. The higher time frame if it's ranging or not. The win rate, you can set this up to 60 days. It'll tell you how many trades have been stored, how many A plus, B, A plus, A, B plus, how many have been taken, what's your win rate. These are standard, so these are B, C plus C, and then your overall, and then for TP1, TP2, and then this tells you what your risk is, which you can set in the settings. And then this pretty much tells you your P&L. We go in the settings, you can go ahead and see what opening range you want to use, your start time, your finish time for the orb, just in case you want to do different session. It can store up to 20 days. This is just what it shows on the chart. There is 3 different entry models. The standard, which is just a break and close outside. A confirmation candle, which is a second candle closing outside the range, and then a break and retest. And these are just the colors for the upper and lower lines. If you don't want the box, you just want the lines, you can just take them off. So you just have the 2 lines. You can change where you want the dashboard to be. Since there's a lot of data, I usually pick the smaller so it can show everything. It can show key levels. It will show you your win rate. Let me just turn these all off. Kind of do them in order. So for these, there is a order that they can go in. Once there's too much data, it will start taking stuff off that is not needed. So basically, if you have too many things selected, it will only let you pick the most important things, so it doesn't crash the indicator. So as of right now, this is how it looks with a trade open. So you can start selecting everything. And then this is what it'll all show. Then if you actually are out of a trade, and the trade ends, once the session ends, it'll actually release the trade from the dashboard. And this is everything you can see. It's not showing everything just because it's showing the key levels. You take the key levels off, it'll actually show you everything for the advanced dashboard. For the advanced dashboard, the advanced P&L, it will break down all the grades, the wins and losses, capital you risk, profit factor, your average R, win rate, your win streak, your worst streak, and what your current win streak is or loss streak, and your best trade and your worst trade, then your drawdown for that period of time. That's pretty much it for the dashboard and the information that it shows. For the settings itself, this is where it gets a little bit trickier. I've been using it on the 5-minute. I've been having the best results with it. So I really don't mess with TP2s. TP2 is typically very far away. So I usually don't use that. I usually use TP1. That's been giving me the best results. I do 60 days, so it gives me the max amount. For my settings, I do about 1 o'clock for the cutoff. For this part, this tracks how many max trades you want to track per session. For me, I have 1, so it just tracks the first trade, and after that, it doesn't track anymore. This is important because this will actually use the higher time frame filter in the grading. So if you have that off, it actually will affect the grading. Realistic trading. What this means, if we get back-to-back signals, so we get 2 back-to-back signals in a row, and you're still in the first trade, you wouldn't actually enter again. So what this does, it only counts the first trade until either your stop loss is hit or TP is hit fully, and then it will count the next trade. This way you don't get like 3 signals in a row, and then if they all hit TP, then it's going to count as 3 wins in a row. So this doesn't really make sense. This is your EMAs. I have mine set to 20 and it's set to 50. So what this does is it looks at both EMAs and to see if they're coming together, spreading apart, or if they are trending, ranging, to kind of give you an idea what the market's doing. I have mine set to 4 hours. That has been the best and most accurate for me. So this is the range threshold. This is how much space is in between, how many points they can be in between. 10 points has been really good. For the ideal orb size, I've been using 30 points. So basically, for the ideal, it'll give, for the grading system that it uses, it picks orb sizes that are within a certain range that are ideal. I have it set to 150 for the maximum. And for this, it will not track any orbs under 30 points. It just skips the whole thing. For the max TP distance, I've been going with 300 just to give me plenty of room. And how this works is it will only look at TPs, how it looks for TPs, it looks for key levels. So it looks for key levels in the market. So what this could do, if you're finding that your TPs are being a little bit too close to your stop loss, you can actually adjust what the minimum R for this is. So if you want to make sure, if you want your TPs to be at least 1 R every time, I'll push it up and look for a support and resistance level or some type of key level that is at least that far away. I have found that 0.6 gives me the most consistent TPs. For the FEGs, this is looking for just FEGs as well. It looks for FEGs, liquidity, support and resistance, weekly highs, weekly lows, daily lows, all those key levels. It takes them into account. So this looks at all the fair value gaps within 50 bars. And I have found that 50 bars have been the best. How many points should the minimum be for the FEG? I found that 5 points is working really great. For swing high, swing low look back, this just looks for like the swing highs and swing lows for the highs and lows. So what this will do is look how many bars will look back, and 40 has been the best for me. And then we have show watch level. Show watch level will just add an extra level just in case that there isn't a level that is in between the TP1, TP2. It'll just kind of make you more aware. So sometimes you'll have a watch level kind of near entry or kind of in between. So it'll actually look at that and take that into account when picking TPs. So just in case you just want to be aware of this level. Then you can use higher time frame. What this does is when it's looking for TPs, this will look for other TPs. So I have mine set to 4 hours. If you wanted to have it set to like a different time frame, like the 1 day, you can add it there. Or if you're using a lower time frame for here and you want to have a second layer, So if you wanted to do like 15 minutes and then the 4 hour, 15 minutes and the 1 hour, you can do that. I usually have it off. Okay, this is for stop loss. For me, I like to do 10 bars because that will actually look, that's where it's looking at the swing. I don't always go with this. Sometimes it picks like a very wide stop loss, just because it's looking for 10 bars back. So it's usually like the break, or the low or the range. So sometimes look for that area. And then this is, so it makes sure that whatever the low of the swing, it puts it 5 points below that. And then for my minimum, I put 25 points, and for my maximum, I put 125. This just picks the safest stop loss. Like I said, I don't always go with what it says. If I find structure, if I see something better, I'll go with that. But this is the safest place to put the stop loss. It's working on the swing, so I'll just pick the most safe spot. And then for the risk, you can just put whatever risk you want. I risk 250, and then just make sure that you're using the correct point per dollar. And this is pretty much how mine looks. Let me change this so it's correct. Yeah, these are my settings. I've been using a 5-minute orb. It's been working really great. I haven't dialed in the 15-minute orb 100%. I do actually have settings for it. But if you want to see those, I can make a video just on the 15-minute orb. But yeah, then everything is updated here. So what you can do is actually just go back. How I've been testing it, just go back to the day that it's going up to. Kind of just testing it out. Yeah, you can see right here, okay, it's only about $1,000 that we made. Here we made 2,200. So I mean, it's doing okay. And like I said, I only have it tracking the first trade. So this is just going off whatever the first trade is. Obviously, there is some discretion of like you wouldn't take every single trade that it does, even though it says it could be a good trade. Like here, I don't think you would take this one. It's kind of far away. But if we go back to this past week, we can kind of take a look at it from there. So this was today's trade. It gave us a signal. It was like a B setup. For me, I would enter something like this. Probably do something like that. And try at least get a TP1. And so how the TP box works, once it hits this bottom level, it counts as a win, and it will record that as a win for that amount. So if it only hits here, it won't count this amount. It will count how much it actually was from entry to there. And then once it hits TP in the TP line, then actually it closes the trade fully for the full TP amount. So it's pretty accurate. And then the same thing works with TP2. Once it hits this bottom level, it counts as a win, and then it waits for full TP closure. So if it hits here, it'll count as a win. It will record this. And then if it comes back, and then it goes to stop loss, they'll just count it for a partial win, and then the trade will be over. Just wanted to let you guys know that part. So that's how it's recording wins and losses. So it's pretty accurate when it comes to that. I want to make sure that it wasn't, because there was a lot of times where it would just hit the zone and then reverse. So it would have been a win, but since it didn't actually cross the midline, that it wasn't counting, but now it's counting. And how trades close at the end of the day. So if a trade is open, say we don't hit TP1 or we don't hit stop loss and trade just ends. If it's in profit, it just won't count the trade at all. It just basically count as nothing. But if it's in below the entry line, it'll count as a loss. So that's how that would work. And then this is today's trade. So we did hit TP1. Like I said, I wouldn't have gone with this one. I mean, you could have. You just get a lower RR. I would have went for something more like this. So at least get a 1.24, and then let's see. Like I said, yeah, I have mine set to have the swings like here. It's a 1.43, but you could have gone something like this. You want to go a little bit less aggressive, or sorry, more aggressive, and then same thing. We hit the zone. I think we eventually hit TP too. Yeah. And then let's see this. And like I said, you can adjust these to however you want for the 15, the 5, or different sessions. Like I said, I'm still kind of trying to work on it, trying to get it more optimized for the grading system and how it's picking stop losses and everything. But like I said, this is like one of the cases where we had a round number right here, so it's just more of like a psychological number. So we'll just kind of look at what levels it could be. And then so it'll just give you something to be aware of, and then it will give us our signal. And then see if we were to enter, we at least, yeah, we hit the zone. So like I said, this would count as a win, but it wouldn't have been a full win. It would have been whatever this was to here. That's what the profit would have been. If you would have went with the stop loss, obviously you can go higher up. This is just the safest place for it to be. This would probably been a loss. Okay, no, see, then here it's not telling us to take the trade, so we wouldn't have to worry about that one. Yeah. And yeah, that was an A. Okay, just want to make sure. Let's see. Like I said, you still have to use some type of discretion for this. Like, it's not just, you got to make sure you're picking the correct stop loss. But if it's too wide, then you can go for something smaller. Or if you think it's, too close, you can go for something, a lot further away. The TP zones are also just, there are places where price is probably going to go to or stall at. So that's something to be aware of. So let's see. So yeah, the lines do go away once a new trade comes in. So if like this one, you would want to mark it out. Like I said, you can go with this, or you can go with something lower. I would maybe worst case just do that, or at least try to get a 1-to-1 out of it. Pretty close to getting stopped out. Let's see. There we go. Made it all the way to that zone. Here, this one is pretty far away, so I don't know if you would take that. Even though it isn't a setup, it's pretty far. Yeah, I don't think this would mean your TP2 would be something, but TP1, even though it hits it. Let's see. And then same thing here. Kind of wide. Maybe something like that, or you can even go like that. I'd probably put it there. And yeah, it tells you which TP. So CTF means chart time frame. So it means the time frame you're on, and then higher time frame means just the higher time frame, because it's looking at all that. Let's see. Yep, we hit that zone. Yeah, so like here's a little sketchy. Let's see. B setup. So yeah, this stop loss would probably be too far. But like I said, this is the safest place because it's looking at swings. Like I said, it hits the zone. And then boom, we hit full TP there. I think this was Thanksgiving. Let's see. This is a B. This would pretty much be a loss. Let's see. put it there. Oh yeah, so sometimes TP2 will show up ahead of TP1. TP1 is the strongest zone or the strongest area, so that one, that's the way the logic would work. Sometimes it will be backwards. Most of the time not, but it's going order of strongest. So TP1 is always the strongest area. TP2 is just something it's binding on the next level. So basically TP1 is priority, then TP2 is going to be the next strongest candidate. So yep, now is a loss. Let's see. I don't know what this one's going to be. And adjusting the settings will adjust the grading levels, so just be aware of that. So when you are doing this, everything does interact with each other. So I made it so it could be customizable instead of just being out of the box and you're kind of stuck to that. So if you're using different time frame, different session, you're gonna have to adjust them to your liking. So I figured that was the easiest way to do that. And like I said, I'm still improving it. Not everything is fully optimized the way I want it, so I'm still testing out different settings, different things. Okay, that was a loss. So yeah, so now it's picking a new zone that is a lot closer to it. It does have it's called a fallback. So if there is no zones that are meeting criteria, it will pick orb 1 and orb 2. I also have half orb in there, but it just based on your the minimum R you have set. So just in case, since there wasn't anything close enough, any zones over here, it'll just use those as fallbacks. So sometimes you'll see R1 or R2, and say that this one is using the fair value gap as a watch level. I don't know if it's picking this one as finding a fair value gap level. So it has different levels it's looking for. Okay, I'll just do this last one. Okay, this one's pretty far. Let's see if we get up there. Kind of far away. Yep, we eventually get there. So yeah, this is pretty much how you can use it. Like I said, this is on the 5-minute. I've been using it on this one. It's been working really well. Everything updates in the dashboard. Everything should be very accurate. I've been backtesting it. If there is any issues or you do find some type of bug or if it's not accurate, please let me know in the Discord. I'll have a link to it in the description. And this is free for all my Discord members. So if you want to just go ahead and go to my Discord, you can grab it there. I have a full instruction manual that goes into really deep detail on how to use it. But yeah, you can ask me there. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything, just please let me know or comment below.